BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. So it's Saturday. What's going to happen on a Saturday? Traditional market's over. No Forex, no commodities, no stocks. We're just left to meander in the no man's land of crypto, which effectively is not as strong as it might appear on face value. I know that we saw some nice moves yesterday towards the end of the day, largely driven by that non-farms payroll. So there you go. Traditional markets is what's required. We kind of expected a bit of a heart murmur, is what I called it yesterday, as that data comes through. And then to continue with the trend, which is basically what happened, and we ended up hitting that 200 simple moving average for the daily on Bitcoin, and it took altcoins for a little ride as well. Most of that still up at the moment. It's not bad, but let's have a think about the Dixie and how the Dixie appears. So we had that spike. There's your heart murmur. This is a 4-hourly chart, and we closed down quite significant, quite significantly, really. If we have a look at the wick here on this weekly, that's what's known as a shooting star. It's never a good sign to see this on anything. Quite a savage rejection. So I'll be looking for continuation on this one moving into next week before a bounce that probably takes us back up to at least the candle body closures, more or less where we are right now, and maybe an attempt to run a little higher before we fizzle out. The weekly doesn't have any bearish divergence. The daily also kind of does have one drive, but nothing massive, just one single drive, that's all. And obviously back onto the 4-hourly, we've got a single drive of hidden bullish divergence. So mixed signals here. In the context of the trend, it's definitely an uptrend really, and I would expect it to probably come down to probably around 105.3, which was the major resistance of going back in time here, showing the resistance here, bang, 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 and should form a support on the Dixie. So moving into next week, further downside on Dixie, and then a bounce. If we break down below this level, look, we've got golden cross moving averages down here, 200 simple and exponential, and they would be epic places for a big bounce. Anyway, there's not much point in talking about traditional markets when they're not even open. I just wanted to put it to you that was the weekly close, and it does look like further downside is required in the short term, right? And also, just to finish off on the Dixie, I actually don't think we're going to break this area either. I think 107.8 is probably the top on this one, and then whether we bounce from a lower zone and move up to that higher area and then fall back down is that's also probably the most likely scenario. But we've got to take it every day as it comes, as the data comes through, CPI and all these other things, FOMC, what you going to do? All these sort of things are going to take their toll on these charts. So Bitcoin, so let's have a look at you then, shall we? So we narrowly avoided the death cross on exponentials on the daily, which is good, and we've moved up twice, well, no more than that really, a few times now to that 200 simple moving average, the last moving average of significance on this daily chart here. So like a major area, sitting around 28,050. So we spent a little bit of time above there yesterday, we're back down, closed down below there last night, and here we are again, sort of meandering below that major resistance, and even above that resistance is a huge area, 28,500, which is backed up by quite a few things really. Going back in time recently, major resistances, some support, major resistances, and then when we lost that area, and a huge rejection from that Bollinger Band Center. 200 simple moving average also on the weekly, sitting around the 28,070. So can't underestimate the power of this resistance area right now. And if you look at this, and again, candle formations or whatever, for what they're worth, we just did one on the Dixie. So if this were to close like this on Bitcoin, technically it's a red candle, and it's an indecisive red candle called a spinning top. So there's your Investopedia knowledge for the day. Basing this on a 4-hourly though actually looks a little bit better, to be fair. It does look a lot better actually. We've actually just generated a trend signal, although it's quite weak. Trend signal generated on the Itchy cloud, so cross above the cloud, price action above cloud, cheeky span above price. So we've got those 3 components is what you need. So the only thing that will cancel this out is the blue cross the red once again, or the cheeky span touch the price action, close within the price action. So the 4-hourly actually has a trend signal. So I am actually looking for this one to trend back up again to yesterday's highs and maybe beyond. I'm quite bullish on Bitcoin generally speaking anyway, even at these levels. And I think altcoins will largely be taken for a run with Bitcoin in the short term. We'll see how they go. Some are better than others. We recognise this, when we do the Patreons, which I suggest you join. Links in the description below. £7.50 a week. £7.50 a month, 2 live streams a week, and we look at all kinds of charts. The momentum on this one hasn't dwindled. We've still got the uptrend of support on the RSI on both 4-hourly and on the daily, so not really a problem. We're getting a little heated here on the money flow index, so if we were to shoot up, I doubt would sustain higher prices in the short term. It would be a bumpy ride. And the daily, like I say, pushing these major areas of resistance right now. So if we just look back in time at how the money flow index has peaked in the past, yeah, we can go higher outside of the comfort zone. Obviously, we've got the full history of Binance's money flow index here. And yeah, these navigate some serious highs on Bitcoin's price. And so, yeah, wherever we go from now is not going to be a shoot all the way up to 40,000. If anything, we move back up to our previous highs and probably pull back significantly on there. And the best you could hope for would be probably a move up into the top into the top range here, like 32, and then consolidate back down to where we've more or less where we are at right now, 28,500. So, that being that, I'm still bullish on this chart, but just to stand back and just put it to you right now, I've said it quite a few times, I say it every week, twice a week on the Patreon. I think that the range for Bitcoin for the majority of this entire cycle, even moving into next year, is going to be between 20,000 and 40,000. So that doesn't mean we're going to come back down to 20,000. It doesn't mean we're going to hit 40,000. I just think we're going to stay in this range for pretty much the majority of the time, moving towards the end of this year into next year. And it's only when we finally break the 40,000, which is a big ask at the moment, that things really changed direction. Similar to how we spent most of our time between 6,000 and 12,000 in the previous cycle. It feels like a long time ago, but really during this period it was boring. It was really boring. And to make trades, significant trades on altcoins, they were far and few between, but they did happen. You'd catch a 2, 3, 4x every now and then. But for the most part, it was choppy, no one was bothered, uninterested. People would snigger at the idea of buying into crypto. They think that the top's already in and that it's failed cycle already because it peaked at 14,000 and we're trending down below 10 and then back to 9 and then to 7 and then obviously back down to 6 and then the crash all the way down. It's just going to be the same thing, right? It's going to be the same thing. There is a model for Bitcoin, the 4-year market cycle. We all know that. And we should just accept that is the best model that we've got for Bitcoin, and we should expect it to continue as it is. And if we do overlay the model, even though you can't really do a fractal, and fractals for me are just they're just fun, really. They're nothing special. But if we think about the sentiment, we think about the price and the meandering areas that we're in right now, it doesn't feel any different, to be honest with you, as it did previously. And we're suffering a huge lack of volume on this chart. And until we see more volume on it, we're not likely to see anything special. The best thing to think about is to, if you're going to invest in crypto, you incrementally buy into crypto, you dollar cost average into crypto, and especially in these times right now, between this, over the next 12 months, basically, when it's going to be flat as a pancake, up, down, sideways, all over the place, but not particularly amazing. These are the times when you really think about sort of buying it and holding it and staking it wherever you can, and waiting for brighter days in about from 12 to 18 months where things should really start to pick up a little bit more. But other than that, Bitcoin's not too bad in the short term. I just think it's unlikely to sustain higher prices, although it can certainly reach there. But the major resistance is where we are right now. 200 simple moving average on the daily and on the weekly, just above 28,000, and then an extra little kicker at 28,500. There is a good chance that we break it and move up to the top of this range, and then I think there's a very good chance that we get rejected from there in the short term and consolidate, hopefully back to where we started from, which is more or less now, really, and then see where we go from there. Right, I'm going to make some videos on altcoins today. I'm going to have quite a productive day making videos, I think. So let me know in the description, in the comments, what your preference is, and I will make those videos. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.